That's so crazy. That's so crazy that they would do that.
Noah asked me about Zelda the other day. I'm like, yeah, I played Zelda, the original on Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did I. That was actually my very first video game.
Mhm.
And my mom came
I don't
home
think
from
that was
work.
my first one, but uh,
My mom
let's
came
see.
home from work, saw me playing video games, and apparently I had been sitting in a dirty diaper for a while.
Wow.
I was that young.
Playing Nintendo in the diaper. Even. Wow.
I mean,
And mom was
this
like, "You taught him how to play video games, and you didn't change his diapers." And my dad was like, "Well, he didn't seem like he needed it. He was happily playing the game."
Oh man,
that
hilarious.
happens. That happens.
That's hilarious.
Oh man.
So what's up, boys? How's everybody doing?
Life, brother.
Man,
it's life.
Busy week.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
actually,
have a busy week.
still on the topic of Zelda, and related to that question, my sister-in-law asked me a couple of years ago. She saw me watching one of those videos of somebody speedrunning Zelda, and she said, "Is this a good game?" And I said, completely flabbergasted that a 20-year-old was asking me, is Zelda 64 a good game? Like, why do you like? I just don't even know what to say. Like, I can't believe you even care. Like, you see these blocky graphics. I think it's a good game.
Yeah, it was one of the best games ever for a long time, and then graphics kind of grew leaps and bounds, but gameplay wise and the storyline and all that stuff, I mean, it's still very viable.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about games from that era is that the storyline is like, there's not that much in the game, really. You've got a couple of like 30-second long cutscenes, some dialogue boxes, and just the arc of the milestones in the game. But like, to say the game told you a story,
right,
is a very different thing from modern games where the whole thing is a cinematic interactive adventure.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever play Journey?
It's almost like gameplay was 75-80% of the game, and the cutscene cinematics were the other 15 to 20%, whatever it is.
Yep. All right, I can feel our viewership dropping because we're talking about video games instead of whiskey.
First of all, I'm pretty sure that the audience for this channel are uber nerds and
absolutely
probably quite okay with video game nerdery.
Absolutely.
I would love to believe that, because I had this idea, Germ. Actually, I think this was your idea, but somehow or at least either it was your idea and I stole it, or it was my idea and I projected it onto you. Which is that it would be really cool if we could do a blind sample showdown in person somehow.
Yes. So you pitched this to me. It was your idea. You did pitch it to me.
I feel less bad about stealing your idea then.
No, you did not. You definitely didn't steal the idea. The logistics of it are difficult, to say the least.
Yeah.
We'll just use that as the word. But I am very interested in doing so. Obviously, if we're doing it in person, it's not going to be 3 samples. All that stuff. We really gotta do things. And we were joking about this the other day, my brother and I, because I was talking about it. You had just mentioned it just the other day, and he goes, "Well, 3 samples, that many rounds. Oh my God, what's the contest? If you're still standing at the end of it, you're the winner, or what?"
you made us.
I'm like, you know what? I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah. So we literally accidentally invented a format where. So the reason I brought this up in the context of video games is because I feel like we could draw a lot of inspiration for that format from like esports tournaments.
Okay.
Which I've seen a lot online, so I know what the production kind of ends up looking like. But I've also been to a couple in person, and it's the whole production is always a mullet, right? Like the esports competition is at a conference or whatever. There's a lot of stuff going on that is not the game that you see played. And I feel like it's cool to be a part of that. It's like cool to be there in person and have stuff going on. And so what I was thinking, I was on the plane ideating about this. I was bored in the hotel room between events and going like, okay, how do we make that happen? And how long is it going to take? So I dropped into Claude, as one does. or what a ChatGPT, whatever. It was probably I've been using Claude a little
Okay.
bit because
That
yeah.
clarifies things, because I was actually going to stop you and ask, what the hell is Claude?
Who's Claude?
Yeah.
Who is Claude?
Claude is more
It's
famous
another
for being good
AI.
at programming, but it's another AI like ChatGPT.
Yeah, okay.
And
Got it.
I had to get it because for a job interview they specifically wanted to see me code with Claude.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, I got to just use this thing as much as possible and like figure
Sure.
out its quirks. But anyway, it's actually really good at planning, like logistical planning. It turns out I used it to do my whole itinerary in Nantucket, actually, which was great because I only had like 5 minutes here and there to look at it. So I had it research me flights, ferries, all the options to get there, what the weather was like, what the day had to be like, how much it was going to cost me. Could I bring somebody along with me? How would I be able to change the plan at the last minute? Because this whole last week was very touch and go. So how does my sister-in-law loop into this? My sister-in-law graduated from Harvard this past week. So, you know, she was there up at the front while Conan O'Brien gave his commencement speech, and I was watching it on a telescreen in the other section.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I was in Boston. In this episode, Doug flies in a Cessna. Randall reviewed the Bonvale picks again, and the whiskey industry is healing. Stay tuned. So I had to plan this trip out to Nantucket Island, which is not easy to get to. There's only a few ways you can go. One is fly in a Cessna, which I badly mispronounced in the intro. That's fine. So you can get there by a flight. Takes about an hour, but you do have to go through the airport thing. So you end up burning an hour and a half on just getting to and going through the airport. The other is Uber or drive if you have a car. And of course, I'm visiting from out of town, so I don't have a car and I wasn't planning on renting one. So you Uber to like a ferry terminal that's like an hour and a half away, and then take a ferry that takes 2 hours. And that's much cheaper, but it means that it becomes an entire day and a long day. And I just did not have, with all the family stuff going on, graduation, everybody's doing dinner celebrations. Harvard graduation is apparently 3 days long. Don't even get me started. The actual graduation part you would recognize as graduation happened on day 3, where they do the normal commencement speech, and then they split up and do small, like I guess they have like 8 different houses or 6 different houses that they get split into, Hogwarts style, and then they like do all of their like big class activities that way. So you're not sitting through thousands of students getting their diplomas read. It's only a fraction, right?
Sure.
So you sit through all the diplomas getting read, which still takes 2 hours long. Anyway, you know, graduations are graduations. And Randall's got, I guess, a similar story if you want to share, but
I do.
I'll finish off the Nantucket
Go
thing.
ahead.
So I had Claude plan me this itinerary for Wednesday. And then I found out Wednesday was apparently an important day for the graduation stuff. It was culturally, whatever, historically significant things that they were doing on that day. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try to like ditch out on the family on Wednesday. So I sent Brian an email and said, okay, I have to reschedule Wednesday. Is it still possible to do Friday? And then like I had to change my itinerary and book different flights and everything. So huge touch and go, right? I brought multiple cameras, and I thought I had brought my microphones with me, my DJI square microphones. Here, I'll show you for the sake of like, this is kind of part of the story here. So these microphones are this big, right? And they make your shirt hang down when you wear them because they're so heavy. I actually forgot to bring these. I charged them in my office instead of where I was charging everything else before the trip, and I left them in there. And I got there and I said, shit, I've got the cameras, which I also have to use for graduation, right? Filming, taking pictures and everything. I don't have the microphones. And like, I can't do this if I don't have good microphones, because it's going to be, you know how audio recording in a live, like, imagine recording in a rick house.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't even, it just is reverb. Like you lose so much of the signal. It sounds terrible if you try to, and I'm going to still have to do some of that because I only have 2 microphones. So what I did was I messaged Carrie and I said, shit, I forgot my microphones. What can I buy right now that's going to be good enough for the job? And so he hooked me up, or not, he linked me to DJI Mic 3. This is not an ad. I just think these are cool.
Not a sponsor.
Not sponsored. It's got a receiver base station that's got a whole screen, interactive, everything.
Yep.
They've got controls on them. They've got controls on the receiver. The receiver has a USB-C adapter that plugs directly into your phone. You can also swap this with the Apple adapter. You have to buy that separately though, which I think is hilarious because that's so Apple, and this isn't even an Apple product. Um, and this is great. These record onto themselves, right? On the device, they have a recording backup, and they also stream out to this receiver, which you can record into something else. So you can record into the Osmo, or you could record into the Sony. It's got like the 3.5 millimeter jack adapter, so you can plug it directly into the camera, recording to that. You could do whatever you want, and just mix it in post. So I ordered this, right? In between all this graduation stuff, going to dinner and everything, I ordered this, and I was going to have it delivered to an Amazon locker. But the closest Amazon locker looked like it was kind of a scummy 7-Eleven. So I said, I don't think I want to do that. Let's check Best Buy. And let's see. So I ordered them online for Best Buy, and they said, okay, we'll hold them for 3 days. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even know if this trip is going to happen. Right. So I'm like, until I actually book the flights, I'm not going to bother picking them up because they'll auto return and I won't get charged. So they're just holding this device that I need, which is like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I messaged Brian. I said, does this itinerary work? I've got, starting early morning on Friday, we can do this thing. I can stay half the day. These are my flights that I'm going to book. Does that work? And he said, yes. And I said, great. I booked the flights, which cost me $500 round trip, like $550 round trip. It was a lot of money.
Yeah. I'll go from Boston to Nantucket.
Yeah. From Boston to Nantucket and back. So my Patreons collectively to date have paid for half of this trip to Nantucket and nothing else. But hey, that's better than nothing. And I love you guys. So then I booked those flights, and then I took an Uber to Best Buy, picked these up, and then called an Uber again. And the Uber driver was still sitting in the Best Buy parking lot because picking these up took all of 2 minutes, walk in, walk out. And suddenly, amazingly, had everything that I needed. And the fact that I had no time to test these, basically, and they worked, is amazing. So yeah, shit. I have no idea how to tell a short story. Long story short, I recorded at 888 for 5 hours straight, pretty much.
I was going to try to interrupt you in there somewhere to clarify that you went to the AAA distillery. That is what this story is all about in the first place. But at no point in time up until just now had you mentioned where you went other than Nantucket. So for those of you that didn't know that 888 is on Nantucket, which is an island of the East Coast. That's
what you call hooking people and making them watch the whole video. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
They're like, did you know if you spend $500 and book a Cessna and fly an hour to Nantucket and then drive an hour through, mostly kind of deserted farmland on a sandy rock road, that eventually, you'll get picked up by Brian Jennings and get driven to 888 Distillery, where you sit down and record an interview for 5 hours?
Yes.
Now you know.
Awesome.
What was the distillery like? I mean,
great
obviously
question.
You've been to distilleries before. How does it compare to other distilleries? Size wise, equipment. What are we working with? I mean, what kind of?
Did you get a chance to go to Clear Creek?
I have.
Did you get a chance? No. Okay, no. So Clear Creek, despite the size of their operation, is a surprisingly large space, and it's not a large distillery, right?
Okay.
It's just that they've got a certain amount of floor space so they can process raw fruit and mash in and all that stuff. So they have this big room they use for processing fruit, and then they've got the actual distillery, which is more the size you'd expect it to be. But their barrels are also all in the same space. If you'd been there, this would be a more logical comparison. Some of the audience has been there, I know. So there's two kinds of romantic ways to think about a distillery. One is the line of beautiful stills and fermenters and all this stuff that you get at a distillery like Westland or Westward or pick a Scotch distillery where they've got a tour, right? Yeah. This whole, like, it's industrial alcohol production, at the end of the day, but they make it look great for the visitors, right? And then you've got the small the small scrappy distilleries that have kind of just thrown things together and have evolved it over time, and like eventually get to a place where they're like happy with the product and then say, don't touch it. Yeah. And 888 is way more that, which actually took me a little bit by surprise, because knowing how expensive it is to get to Nantucket, how expensive everything is there, yet the fact that it's 30 miles away from a really expensive cost of living place Massachusetts, and also like what the price of the 888 the notch bottles is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like and the fact that they do things the Scotch way, they were mentored by Scotch whiskey people, production people. You would think that their distillery, if anything, would look way more like Scotland tour distilleries, right?
Yes, absolutely.
They're not really. I mean, they do tours, but they're not really set up to look glamorous.
Okay.
It's
I like
they
that,
got
though.
great front of house stuff. They've got a brewery on one side, and they've got the distillery bar with all the spirits that they make on the other side. They don't just make single malt; they make
No.
flavored vodka, gin that
Yeah.
they've won a ton of awards for. They've got
gotta-
RTD canned cocktails.
Yeah, they gotta
got
make
rum.
stuff for the WMs out there.
Yeah, so everything that you could imagine. So they've got the beer on one side, and they've got all the spirits derived stuff on the other side. And these are two different front of houses that are like across from each other in this kind of town square. So they've got a gift shop. They've got, some of the owners live on the property. So there's just a house there too. And it's just this like this little town square.
That's
And
cool.
the brewery on one side, and you go in the back, and it looks like every craft brewery you've ever seen. They've got the fermenters,
Yeah.
all that stuff going on. Lots of stainless steel, like really like super clean. Like clearly they do a lot more on that side than they do on the distillery side. The distillery side was kind of like they're a winery and a brewery, and they wanted to make fortified wines, so they got a distilling license and they started distilling. And then they were like, well, we've got to still, let's start making whiskey. That's basically the story, short version.
Okay.
They've got a column still in there.
Excellent whiskey, and
Yep. They've got a column still in there, made by Headframe, which is cool.
Yeah.
And they've got an Arnold Holstein pot
Mhm.
with a straight neck with
Okay.
some reflux plates, right?
Okay.
Looks actually really similar to the still. Basically it's a brandy still. It looks really similar to the still that they make McCarthy's on, which is also
Okay.
a brandy still.
Perfect.
And so and what's really interesting is opposite ends of the country. One is making, clean Speyside Scotch style most of the time, and McCarthy's on the other end making Islay style peated Scotch, and yet they have a ton of stuff in common, really.
Yeah.
Scale
Absolutely.
type of equipment. The fact that they make everything under the sun as far as spirits goes. Yeah. And then the barrel house is just, I mean, it's a farm. So like there's this town square, that's the one part of it. It's kind of the visitor center part of it. And then the rest of it is just a farm. They have livestock, they grow vegetables. They've got like a barn that is where the barrels are. That's where we actually sat down for the interview. And so it's that rustic kind of romance. It's like you're in a place where you can tell people work hard and stuff gets done,
Excellent.
and they care a lot about the craft of doing it right for their definition of right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So excellent. Randall,
Yep.
you sir, what has been on your platter
Well, something
for the
similar.
last month?
Something similar to what Doug has been dealing with. I too went to a graduation, but it was my daughter's graduation. She graduated high school, and it was a big ordeal. And like when you become I'm going to say it, the older dad with the older kid, life changes and things change when that happens. And I don't know, it's just weird seeing the actual steps. And of course, we had to make all the banners and things with all her baby pictures next to her senior year pictures and all of the things. And like seeing her develop into the young woman that she is now, I'm just like, it takes me back. I remember, obviously I remember, changing diapers. I'm not wanting to be like, see ya, so it is a different time of life. I do have a son at home, obviously. And so I still have him to hang out with, but like, I don't know, it's just a different time of life. And so like dealing with all of that and also, being extremely busy at work and doing all of that, it has been a nonstop ride. It has been a ride for sure.
Excellent.
That's it.
And you've also been making a lot of your own podcast content. I want to point out.
Okay, so yes, I have.
It's been great.
I appreciate that. So like I've said in those said podcasts, it's difficult to get people to respond back to you. And, you reach out to them. I've reached out to 50, 60, 100 different distilleries or whiskey people in the industry. And I get a response email, or I get a, hey, not right now email. I get that a lot from, I got that multiple times from Leopold Brothers. I tried to get them on 3 different times and they're like, oh, not right now. I'm like, well, give me a time. I don't care if it's in 8 months, like just give me a time. And they're like, no, not right now. So anyway, so I'm just like, well, screw it. I'm going to, just continue doing what I'm doing. So I've actually started asking people in the whiskey community to come and tell their story, why they got into whiskey and doing stuff like that. So it's not going to change. Obviously, I'm still doing all those things. I know I have a couple of really cool Scotch distilleries coming up real soon, but it's just one of those things. I think everybody's so busy, they just don't have the time, or all of my emails go to spam and they're just like, I don't know who that is. So,
right.
I wonder if it's because I have an at website email address that I seem to not end up in people's spam a lot, as opposed to just a cold email from a Gmail address that you've never communicated with before. I think that's a little tougher, but you would think a random website that you've also never interacted with, why is that any less spammy?
Right.
Other than the fact that you had to pay, I guess $20 a year or $12 a year to register the domain, and then in my case, $6 a month to pay for Google Workspace for one user. So it's not cheap, but a scammer is absolutely willing to pay that much money for.
Absolutely.
They're hoping to land a whale with a scam,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. But we move on. We persevere. What about you, John?
Really, I joked a little bit when Doug said I kind of want to hear what everybody's been up to for the last month. Mine's going to be really short. I haven't been up to shit. Literally haven't been up to nothing.
You're in your
no content. The show is over. I'm enjoying the break. I actually haven't even sent out the winnings yet, which I have all packaged up and ready to go. With just waiting on a label to get printed and put on it, and me drop it off. And I haven't done it.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
So many boxes in my
Val,
closet
I
that are just
apologize for the delay on your winning package. It is coming. Believe me, it is coming. I will get on it. But other than that, I don't have a lot. I haven't posted hardly anything to Instagram.
Same.
I pop into the Discords every now and then and drop a little nugget here and there, and then dip out for another week. But I do enjoy the conversations that happen in the Discords. Those are always some of my favorites, because there is some fantastic people in the Discord groups that do nothing social media wise. However, they're incredible whiskey people and incredible whiskey friends.
Right.
Yeah. To be honest, to be 100% honest, the best whiskey people are not making content for the most part.
Correct. I'm 100% in agreement with that.
You need to look deeper on the internet than the people who are posting on Instagram and YouTube to find the people who are really knowledgeable and really cool and have great thoughts and have done a lot of research that they basically just keep for their own, personal. It's cool. People get a lot of satisfaction out of just knowing things. Right. And a lot of people just never have the platform or interest in sharing. Yep. And kind of the way I got into doing any kind of the podcast basically grew out of my desire. I'm just collecting so much information about American single malt that nobody knows, and I want people to know it.
Right.
So having the kind of person who likes drinking whiskey, reviews whiskey, knows a lot of things about whiskey, starts collecting information, and then also wants to be an educator about it. And here's where I fall short. If you want to be successful on Instagram and YouTube, you also have to be a good video editor. Yeah. And imagine finding somebody who is all of those things at the same time. So
it's hard to do.
Yeah, right.
I'm just glad my audience is okay with my content being completely unedited, because that happens only once a year, apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and
I have months. I swear, I have months of editing ahead of me on the 888 stuff, because it was 2.5 hours of sitting down doing an interview, which is fine. But I also have to mix the mics and the cameras. That by itself is a lot. Plus, there's 2.5 hours of B-roll, and we walked around and did a distillery tour, and there's great sound bites in there too that didn't get repeated during the sit-down interview. So I gotta find a way to mix those in. I'm gonna end up looking like a Veritasium video, I think, in the end, with the way I'm gonna have to do like interject myself re-recording because I didn't have a good mic on. I only had the two mics. Oh, another cool thing about this set that I didn't know that I really wish I had known is you can buy extra mics that also sync to the same base station.
Yeah,
and if I had known
cool.
that, I would have had 3 or 4 instead of just the 2. Anyways, yeah, it's gonna be a lot.
So
You know what upsets me? Instagram content that does way better is the stuff you don't edit. Is the stuff that takes you literally as long to make as the length of the video that you post.
Yeah.
Did you guys see my stupid wine snipe?
Yeah.
That was one of my best performing fucking reels. It's not even a whiskey reel. It's just a meme about wine drinkers.
Well, that's the thing.
You had a negative context on there right off the bat. Like that, the first thing I saw was something negative. Not that it was bad negative. I'm just saying it was intentionally. It was more of a negative leaning thing.
Yeah.
And people are drawn to that.
Yep.
I will always agree with that.
The content I want to make is positive and educational and just
nobody wants
so
to see
dry.
That shit.
Nope.
Realistically, I mean, not nobody.
I don't
There's
even
a lot
want to
of
watch.
people, like our viewers here. Excellent people. I love them to death.
Yes.
I appreciate them. I all of that stuff, and they want to hear all this good, positive, educational stuff. To reach giant numbers and do all that stuff, that's not making it. That kind of stuff isn't making it. And I don't care about that. I'm happy to put out the content that I want to put out, and the people that enjoy it, I'm happy they enjoy it, and I'm happy with that number.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what's everybody drinking right now?
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't touched on that yet. I actually just finished a glass, so I am actually. Go ahead, Doug.
I've got coming up on my show Thornton Distilling.
Okay.
I forget the exact date, but I posted the schedule on my Patreon, so I can at least say, hey, go look at the schedule on Patreon. This stuff's really good. They came out of nowhere in terms of my consciousness, and I'm impressed.
Okay.
That's all I got to say at the moment. I don't want to ruin the whole interview, and I've talked enough already. So
right. I enjoyed actually 2 glasses of the Restless Spirits out of KC Mo, the Gullytown Straight American Single Malt, and it does actually say Straight American Single Malt.
Wow. Love it.
This is definitely older than the rule changes for American Single Malt, so they were putting this on the label preemptively.
Straight probably still carries the meaning.
Yeah, it does. This was barreled 2018, bottled 2023. And
so also new oak in that case, being malt whiskey or no?
Aged in new charred oak barrels, yes.
Okay.
Says so right on the label. I appreciate them because they put info on the label.
Yeah, love everyone who does that.
Novel idea.
We had a whole aside with Brian and Randy about there's a lot of brands that want to keep their information tight until they have a marketing push on it, and then there's a lot of other brands that are just like, there's no reason to hide anything we're doing. Just be an open book, because consumers, you're gonna get the nerds for sure if you just be an open book.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the rest of, if the consumers don't care, they don't care, right? You're not going to lose any points by being an open book.
No.
The thing about it for me is, if you're proud enough to put it in a bottle, you should be proud enough to tell everybody what it is.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
And if you're not proud enough to tell everybody what it is, you're putting it in a bottle as a money grab, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yep. I have a great segue there. I want to know what Randall's drinking, but I'm going to put a pin in that.
Okay. So I opened up 2 bottles I haven't ever opened before. I bought these. I bought both of these probably. Well, one of them was a gift from the distillery. The other one was I purchased probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. And the one I have a smattering out here is none other but than Real Spirits bottled in bond malt, straight malt whiskey. Is 4 years old, 100 proof. Obviously, they're malt whiskey coming out of Blanco, Texas. And then Deer Hammer, their port cast finished smoked American single malt. So this is actually mesquite smoked or mesquite. I think it's mesquite smoked. It is different. Port and mesquite together, it kind of gives it a different thing. And then I also have some balcones as well, because that's a topic that we might or might not get to. So Anyway, that's what
Wait,
I'm.
is Balcones on our news list? Oh, hey, we forgot to do the thing where we actually say what our news stories are today, but we'll come back to that too before we get into them. So the other thing that I did as a side quest while I was in Boston is Burlington Wine and Spirits. Burlington Wine and Spirits. So this is the segue of tell me what's in your bottle, because we had questions about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Still have questions.
So this came up in the Discord a few times, the Single Malt Frontier Discord. Stimulus 20 Nashoba Spirits, or Nashoba Valley Spirits Limited.
Okay.
Released a 20-year-old American single malt whiskey.
Now, anticipation says 20-year-old ASM.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive.
And shit, the label's still there. $85. So we said 20-year-old ASM from Massachusetts, from a place nobody's heard of, for $85. That doesn't make any sense. There's no way that's legit. That's got to be MGP. That's got to be something, right? But and you know, TTB can be wrong, but for the until proven otherwise, you know, produced and bottled by Nashoba Valley Spirits Limited, Bolton, Massachusetts. Massachusetts is the only state listed on this label anywhere.
Okay, so it was at least made.
Assuming the rules were followed, it was at least made in. It was at least distilled in Massachusetts.
Yep.
Okay.
And so then we go, how many distilleries have been open that long in Massachusetts that they could be making this? And the answer is not many.
No.
To say the least. Technically, Triple Eight has been open long enough. There's no way this is Triple Eight juice, because they would know.
And they would still have it.
Yeah. They do in fact have 25-year-old whiskey, and it's
it
going
would
into
probably
the 25th anniversary
be
blend.
a little bit more expensive than $85 as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if it was from Triple Eight, even if it's not labeled the notch, there's no way they're letting it go for $85.
No, absolutely not. Yeah.
So that leaves very few. And so when I was in the store, I was asking, like, tell me what you know about these people, right? To the store clerk. Those guys are super knowledgeable. Burlington Wine and Spirits should be one of those destination liquor stores, right? If you're in Massachusetts and you're whiskey hunting. I
like that tidbit.
Yeah, go there. They've got the so Joel from the Whiskey Rocks podcast does their barrel picks. Okay. Some of them. And they had a dark arts ASM that tasted like peach rings, right? And that's basically what they called it, like a peach and pineapple. And I haven't tasted stone fruit like that in a whiskey other than Balcones.
Wow.
It was really, really good. And I tasted it because they have bottles. This is one of those places that they have bottles open to sample. So whatever it is that they're selling, if they've done a tasting and they got a sample open, they'll let you taste it, which is a great reason to just go visit, just go try some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
The clerk actually literally hunted around in his boxes for a sample of this that he was sure they had open, because their shelf said they had a sample open to ask for samples. 20-30 minutes. I was just waiting. And he was like, here, let me pour you something else while you wait. Right. I just had a couple of samples of things. He didn't end up finding this. Called the store owner and said, hey, where's the sample of the Nashoba 20-year-old? And apparently he didn't know where it was either. They all thought it was in this. They had the 11-year-old. I tried the 11-year-old. It was actually really good.
Okay.
It reminded me a little bit of the Notch and a little bit of who else am I thinking of? I want to say Black Frost in a way, right? It had that kind of slow aged but not over oaked wine yeast, maybe, which would make sense because Nashoba Farms is a vineyard and winery, and they make brandy also. So the pieces are starting to come together here a little bit. One piece that I got from the store owner is that, so these people are still in operation, and the store owner, the clerk, is going to put me in touch with the store owner, who's going to put me in touch with Nashoba. This all happened over text while I was standing in the store. These guys are awesome. Apparently the story here is that this place closed for a while and just wasn't releasing any product. And then when they reopened, they found these old barrels of ASM that they had distilled way back in the beginning, which doesn't mean this is necessarily their best juice. And I haven't tried it yet.
Right.
But all indications based on that story, I don't see any fishiness there. I think this is probably legit 20-year-old made by these people.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to get them on the podcast, and assuming they're willing to go on, chances are they're going to be very transparent about what exactly happened here. And I'm going to take them at face value. If they say it's theirs, it's theirs.
Right. And that's all.
I'm not going to win any awards for having made an ASM 20
Yeah.
years ago. But the fact that it's $85, right? Like that just says
Okay,
So-
yeah, and this is where the fishiness comes in. I mean, nobody's selling. Well, first of all, 5-year-old ASM sells for $85.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, so that in and itself was causing some fishiness. And then, you know, the lack of information that we had on it when we were looking at it on the website caused some fishiness. But if you're, you know, you're vetting this bottle, whether it be theirs or not, if you're vetting it as a good bottle of whiskey.
Uh-oh.
Pop.
I mean,
my
interest level has raised up.
Yeah, it very much has.
I opened it and poured it. I've got the Nashoba Stimulus 20-year-old American single malt in the glass. It's going to be our first time tasting it. First of all, I want to see if it reminds me significantly of the 11-year-old. Yes, it does. It also reminds me, the level of oak on that reminds me of the single malts that came from the River Roots Barrel Club.
Okay.
Which, aside from the fact that those are hopped beer that got distilled into whiskey, and this doesn't have the hops, but it has everything else. It's got that super fruity bouquet, you know, that sort of wine yeast estery stuff.
Yeah.
Whoever said that, I don't know. I mean, one reason I bought this, because I had my doubts. I was in the store, I was talking to the guy. I'm like, should I buy this? Should I buy 2 bottles of this? Should I buy the 11 to go along with the 20? Or should I like try to just get in touch with them and see if they'll send me a bottle of the 11? He said, we did a tasting. The reason we have samples of these out is because we did a tasting of the 11 a couple months ago, of the 11 and the 20 and a whole bunch of other stuff. We sold 2 bottles of the 11, and he sold a lot. Some description he used for a lot of the 20. So in that tasting, at the very least, people thought the 20 was better than the 11, or at the very least, it was a better deal than the 11. Which,
I mean, I would hope it would be, right?
The 11 was $65 and the 20 is $85. Again, this doesn't make any fucking sense.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
No, it does not make any sense.
I think, I mean, like, this might as well be, we dropped a 1 off the front of the price tag by accident, and everyone's been benefiting from
or a 2.
Or maybe even a 2.
Yeah.
Because, like, come on, you don't just, I know nobody was tending to it. Like, we got lucky. It was sitting at the back of a warehouse that did an angel share out the crap.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, okay, you don't get to 20 years old without it costing an arm and a leg. That's just reality. But anyways, the nose is really promising. It doesn't smell over oaked. It's super floral. I'm going to sample the hell out of this because I have 2 bottles of it, and I want everyone, like, this is, you're not, there was like 2 bottles, there was 2 batches of this or something. Like, it's not a single barrel. It's 92 proof. So it wasn't just 1 barrel of 20 years.
Right.
It was several. We'll find out the story. But yeah, there was apparently 1 batch of this. This is the second batch of this. And as far as we know, Nashoba has no more of it.
Wow.
So unless you find another store that has some, what's left in Burlington Wine and Spirits is all there is. So I figured it's my civic duty.
Before we publish this, I'm going to go look and see if I can order it. I should have told you.
You do that. You'll have time. You decide when this publishes.
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the thing is, I actually hesitated to buy 2 bottles of this because I actually was thinking I'd love more people, just like with our barrel pick.
Amen.
I'd love more individual people to be able to buy this and try it and share it with their people. The fact that I take 2 feels greedy, but at this price point, holy shit.
Yeah.
If this is good, if it's bad, okay, I made a bad gamble. If this is good, holy crap, I got to have more than one.
Do you happen to know when it came out?
It's been on the store shelves for like at least 6 months.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like,
So it's not like a brand new release.
It's not brand new, and it's not dusty.
It's not uber old either.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it.
And they are back in production and releasing new stuff. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is that's a great little story. I'm very curious, and I will definitely be tuning into when you do have them on the show.
Absolutely.
Because the whole thing sounds really, really intriguing.
Yeah. And like a 20-year age statement on an ASM is a damn rarity. Like, the only other people who could possibly do it are the Notch.
And McCarthy's
could
have done it, but they don't
could
have
have
that
done
kind
it.
of stock.
As far as I know, they don't have anything that's significant.
Well, they were putting out bottles, and
Mhm.
they had to keep up with that demand.
Yeah.
They couldn't let barrels sit 20.
Theoretically, they could have had a 20-year-old. There's a few who theoretically could have had a 20-year-old. But
St. George can put out 20-year-old stuff. They
Yep.
got 20-year-old stuff.
Yep. But you know, again, the fact that nobody's heard of these people.
Yeah.
Right.
Or certainly nobody's heard of them for ASM.
Man,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That is crazy.
Anyways,
All this talk about 888 and the Notch and
yeah, you gotta.
Massachusetts, I had to pour.
So yeah,
I had
and
to pour.
my
the
last
original Notch
fun
12, by the way. Guys.
Nice. So they've done 5 batches of the Notch 12 now. They're on batch 5. I believe the sample I have is probably from batch 4. Because I got this at ACSA 2024 from Brian. Just tracked me down and handed me this bottle and then walked off without a word. It's like Joseph O'Sullivan was like, go find Doug and give him a sample of the Notch.
Yeah, this is bad.
So he did. Brian is awesome. Brian is a character. I really enjoyed spending the whole day with Brian. Brian also gave me, to complete my set, a sample of the 8 and the 15 to go home with.
Nice.
And I left it on the other side of the room, but it's not labeled. It doesn't matter. You can see it over there, the little blue label I put on it. That is 3 or 4 ounces of their 25th anniversary that's coming out in August-ish.
Which I'm excited for.
Yeah, amen.
Very
Yeah, me
interested
too.
in that.
Me too.
That one I
price
could,
point on it
just
is
based on the
higher,
taste,
but
I could say, I would go out of my way to get it regardless of the price, and it's very cool. And partly because because of the Cessna, back on the Cessna, I could not actually take a bottle with me because I didn't have real luggage. I had a backpack which barely fit all my camera equipment.
Okay.
So I was not able to actually buy a bottle and take off the island, but I would have bought the Notch 12. That would have been my pick of the trip. I think the 15 is very good, but I think if you have to have one bottle from the Notch, you should go with the 12 because it is their ex-bourbon, like sort of cleanest expression of what their malt is about. And so like if you're exploring American single malt and you want the basics across the board, that's the one to get. And it's also nicely balanced in terms of price point.
You
don't think your options are 250, 300, and 500?
Okay, if you're comparing price points across 888 stuff, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'll go with that. Price point in general, however.
I mean, I visited the distillery. I have to have.
That's the Nantucket tax. It's just what it is. You got to be okay with that.
Yeah. So since I visited the distillery, I have to have a souvenir. So I'm gonna get myself a bottle of the Notch, even though I didn't get it there.
Okay.
Just to have it.
Yep.
I feel like
so for me, that Notch 12, the original, the OB bottling Notch 12 is. I haven't had their 15. I haven't had their 8, but with Lost Lantern doing the release of the couple that they had there, obviously that 6-year-old peated is something that unicorns cry over.
Yeah.
It is fantastic whiskey.
Was it only
really,
6?
really enjoy that. Yeah, I think it's a 6-year.
Yeah. Oh, they also had, and this will go in the interview. They also had things to say about the Lost Lantern releases. Came up in the interview.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I called them essentially, the Notch single barrel, and they said no, it's not the Notch. It is 888 single malt. We made it. It is the barrels that go into our product. But as far as we're concerned, if it's not a batched, barreled, tuned flavor profile, it is not the Notch. It is 888.
It makes sense. I like that.
Yeah. No, that makes it. Yeah, it's not the skew. So.
Yeah.
But I will say that Notch 12 out of the what is it, 3? So the 11-year, the 10-year, and the 6-year, and then I have this one.
Oh yeah.
So those are the 4 888 whiskeys that I have. The Notch 12 is, I mean, it is really, really good. Like
it is really good.
It's better than the 10 and the 11-year from Lost Lantern as far as a overall experienced whiskey.
Wow.
Yep. When you say, so I say the Notch 12 reminds me of like Glenlivet in vibes.
Absolutely.
I think some people have taken that, and even I think internalized that as a pejorative, because the Glenlivet is kind of considered like your basic bitch bog standard.
Yeah.
Listen,
Space Ice
Glenlivet for me is what made me fall in love with malt whiskey.
Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah. So I believe it's either Glenlivet or Glenfiddich. That's where you start with, right? And when you go into malt, because those are the 2 most prominent on the shelf.
And then who's number 3?
Glenmorangie.
Probably the Balvenie, right?
Belvani's up there too, but Belvani's
Macallan?
pricing is way higher than Glenlivet, Glenfiddich, or Glenmorangie.
Yeah. Yep.
I think
Glenmorangie, yeah.
Glenmorangie would be that third option.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Glenlivet for me, it was love at first sip. Literally, I fell in love with malt whiskey because of that. Because of Glenlivet 12. I explored the entire lineup of Glenlivet products that were reasonable. I mean, the 25 years is a little out of touch, but 21, 18, 15, 14, 12, illicit still, Enigma, Code, Cipher.
God, that illicit still is so good. And you know what's crazy? And I meant to go look this up in my notes.
Fantastic.
You got me with the illicit still, I think twice. Unless I just had one of those weird deja vu moments. I remember thinking the same thing about the flavor profile and saying I thought it had to be a rum cask single malt. And I believe I made those same comments twice in different seasons of Blind Sample Showdown on the same whiskey.
That's crazy.
Got me twice. At least I'm consistent.
Yeah.
I could be hallucinating that whole thing. I have to go back and check, but that would be really funny if it's true. But anyways, yeah, I think part of the reason for that similarity in style is that they were mentored by John Ramsey from the Macallan and Balvenie. There's something.
I mean, this is dad life, bro. This is dad life.
Yep.
I'll cut that out. That's fine.
It's all
right. To continue, Doug.
Yeah. Anyways, not much else to say. I've done a whole podcast with you guys now, just trying to talk about the Notch. I'm just excited. I'm sorry.
No,
Randall, it's an exciting whiskey. It's an exciting distillery.
Actually, and what's crazy, they pretty much deliberately don't do media appearances. They won't do an online interview. As Randy said when I got there, he's like, you figured out that you weren't going to get this interview unless you showed up in our faces, right? And I was like, yeah, pretty much. And he said, well, we're glad to have you. He said something to the effect of, if we didn't like you, we would tell you to fuck off.
Oh, hey, there you go.
So they very deliberately don't do a lot of these, maybe have never done one. And so the Single Malt Frontier very well could be the exclusive and only interview about the Notch.
Man.
So I hope it comes out good. And I'm nervous about that. There's a lot of editing to do because I'm not going to release a 5-hour. The problem with, all those production issues I have that make me start 15 minutes late all the time, those things also happen when you're live, but sometimes they happen in the middle of recording. And you just got to cut and figure shit out and re-roll. I lost my A camera because the video card filled up a 4K video in the middle of our interview. And then I lost the B camera in the last 10 minutes because it ran out of battery. Yeah.
All right.
And because
let's move on with the episode.
Yeah,
I don't even know where what are we at? 49 minutes and we haven't touched the thing yet.
All right. No, I'm gonna hand it off to Randall and say, Randall, how would you like to lead in our news segments before we talk about it? Just tell them what we're doing.
Okay, so obviously, since the last time we talked, we did our barrel pick. We talked to Philip, and everything was great with that. And thank you all, whoever got a bottle. Thank you so much. It was a blast. But there's been a lot of news happening in the past couple of months that we really didn't talk about because we were worried about our own stuff. So a lot of things have been happening. There's been a lot of people walking away from distilleries. Coming back to distilleries. There's a lot of ins and outs, and we're going to touch on a couple of them. The ones that I have are Whiskey Del Bach. Now I know what you're going to say. Like, you guys always talk about, you talk about Del Bach all the time.
Well, they're good.
They're good, and that's why.
Never stop talking about Del Bach. Fucking shut up.
Exactly. Whiskey Del Bach was acquired. Yeah, I said the word. Acquired in April of 2026 by No Sleep Beverages Incorporated as a part of a 3-brand rollout alongside 9 Banded Whiskey, which is a Texas-based whiskey. They're doing MGP bourbons and stuff like the weeded bourbons and stuff. And UME, I'm guessing, plum liqueur, which I've never heard of. Ume.
I think that's a Japanese plum.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sure it tastes great. I mean, plums are great. So
I like plums.
So Del Bach didn't just get acquired as they got put into a new holding structure for a company, right? So it's like you think of a craft brand moving from an independent distillery to a portfolio backed platform, right? To where you have more money behind you, more ad revenue, more of all those things. Um, I'm looking through my notes. Sorry.
I
So
would have had
now,
to refer to my notes on this one.
well, yeah. So this is what you can expect. This is what you can expect from Whiskey Del Bach moving forward. A wider national approach to everything outside of, the northwest, the southwest. Sorry, and they will have more consistency on the shelf to where now that means they're probably going to have to be running the still a little more, but they're also going to have more bottles on the shelves for you to be able to pick up in different areas. And they're going to have a stronger push into premises like bars and cocktail programs and stuff like that, to where it just kind of, especially when you side by side it with a bourbon brand and a liqueur brand, you can make a whole cocktail out of those three brands together.
That's the holy grail for a brand house.
Absolutely. If you can do all of those. So Del Bach already has a cult craft status, but having a portfolio backing would turn it from a hard to find Tucson bottle into an available in almost 20 different states. And that's the other thing. The brand that bought them, I got to go back. Good Lord. Who are they? No Sleep. Sorry. No Sleep.
No Sleep,
They have distribution in over 20 to 25 different states. So you'll be able to purchase their bottles. Now, as all three of us know right now, Del Bach is a small operation. They are not the hugest brand out there. They do have bottles. They do create, thousand bottle blends and stuff like that. But putting all of that out there in the market is going to create, for me, it's going to create like a little bit more pressure on the distillery to get product out. So what I look forward to in the future is seeing the consistency stay there, like we know and love from Del Bach. And because I don't want it to turn into this big workhorse instead of being the craft distillery that it is. So they're still going to have all of their mesquite smoke stuff. They're going to still be distilling in Tucson on site, and they're still going to identify with the Southwest terroir. So nothing is actually going to change with the distillery, other than they have backing behind them, and now they're going to be put into different markets, which in one way, as you know, we are all, I'm going to say it, entrepreneurs. We would love to have that backing of somebody else to be like, hey, I can get you in these markets and get you to this amount of, these amount of people to see where it can take you. And so I mean, I don't poo-poo them for doing it, and I understand times are tough right now. So, it's one of those things. So
yeah, that's the sort of thing where getting the exit, let's call it an exit. I mean, you sold your brand, right? Getting an exit at the time in the industry that we're at. This is kind of where I was hinting at with, like, is the whiskey industry healing, right? You've got brands who are looking to acquire portfolio, and you also have brands who are a little bit scared right now and who are really willing to sell as if it might be their last chance, because maybe for some of them it is. I don't think Del Bach was in any trouble.
No,
but
I don't think they were in trouble.
But Westward certainly, needed a buyer, right?
Yeah. Or something, obviously. What I was going to say with the Del Bach thing, now you guys both interviewed Mark.
Yep.
Correct.
On your individual channels.
I also co-interviewed him on the Crafted Conversations podcast, which I just want to shout out to Alan. It's a great podcast.
Yeah, it is.
But there was talks in there, and there was talks subsequently about them minimizing their SKU count, right? So they got rid of a couple unique bottles just to kind of, it's starting to seem like that may have been in preparation for this
for a while. Yeah. You go back and reread.
Yeah. Like, this was something that was like, okay, we're going to start scaling back our SKU count so that we can focus more on this, so that when this happens and they put us on shelves, in 25 states,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be able to handle that.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that's
Exactly.
smart business.
It is.
I also, you know, if you guys have watched this or anything that I've done, you pretty much know my thoughts and feelings on big brands buying craft distilleries. And if you don't, I hate it. I think it's a piece of shit when that happens, and it pisses me off. However, it's not my business. It's not my money. So I can only be mad about it because I think what happens is
That's
artistry
exactly what I did.
and the
That I got
love
dinged for, by the
behind
way.
the brand goes away. However, I will say this: I didn't read a ton, but you can read a bit of the article and a little bit more of it on Tucson Foodie.
Mhm.
They have a bit about this. This does not seem like the distillery is going to change at all.
Right.
This
No.
seems like they are
Unless
still
you
going to
unless
do
you don't
what
count that they
do.
did the disconsolidation stuff. Like
That, but
they
see,
changed the
that
portfolio.
any distillery could do that on their own, anyways,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Right.
And it would make business sense even if you aren't thinking about selling. I mean, if you have, well, Clear Creek, classic example, the amount of SKUs that they have is absolutely astronomical, and it's difficult to keep that up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a distillery that's quite a bit smaller than Clear Creek with 10 SKUs of unique bottles, that's hard. Like,
Yeah.
to trim that down to 3-4 core bottles is a way smarter choice.
Yeah, it really is. It really
So
is.
I can't fault them for that, even if that wasn't perhaps for the acquisition.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So don't get too disgruntled about Del Bach going to somebody else. I think the whiskey is going to remain greatly unchanged. I think it's just going to be largely more available.
Yep.
And that's what we've all kind of wanted, right? Because whenever
Yeah,
they came out
especially
with the distilled cuts and stuff like that, they were all Tucson exclusive. So it's like you had to know somebody who could mule you one, or hand deliver.
Yeah, and there's
you
a couple
bottle
websites that you could find them on, and this
right,
and
but
that. Right,
you had to go back alley
it's-
doing
Yeah.
shady deals with a man in a van. It's weird.
Look,
so,
I know the man in the van. It's not shady.
Randall, are you buying whiskey
okay?
from a
I
dude
am.
in a van in a shady,
am.
seedy alley?
I
mean,
am. He's
No,
got good
not
stuff.
buying, right? Because
That's
they're
like-
already
I'm not
open and
buying.
they've lost
We're
all
doing-
retail value.
Is
We're
that
doing
like tertiary
trade.
market
It's trade.
instead of secondary?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, don't
I
call
do-
it trade. Don't call it trade.
it's a
FTC doesn't like that.
It's a service for a service. Let's just say that.
Whoa, now. What services are you providing in exchange?
Wow.
Let's just say
Plumbing?
things happened.
Clean some pipes.
Cleans the oh Lord, it went deep. All right, the other thing that I had before it gets too much off the rails, and I did, while Jerm was talking, I did hold up the bottle of Balcones. Emma Crandall, which is one of the blenders at Balcones, decided to step down. Now, from what she told me personally, it has nothing to do with Balcones or anything that they've been going through. Obviously, they've been shut down since October, so I don't really know what's going on there. But she's decided to go on to different ventures, and she's going to start doing more like contract blending for other people. So think of her as I hate to put her in the same places as this. So think of her as a Nancy Fraley or somebody like that, to where she's contracted out to your distillery to help you blend a blend, like a master blend for something. And then you go through and you're like, okay. And then once you have that blend, you can kind of critique it from there. It's not like she's actually working for one particular distillery. She's just contracted out to whoever wants to use her because they know her profile and know who she is. And she has developed a huge reputation in the Texas whiskey world, especially for her amazing blends, especially one of the biggest ones was the Mirador Eclipse. She was one of the big components on making that whiskey what it was, and it was absolutely fantastic. I tried to bring it, but I forgot I killed it already. So that made me sad. Look at them. He still has half a bottle of it.
Oh, I got another one downstairs.
God
Okay.
damn you.
Yeah.
I don't have a
Anyway.
bottle.
Yeah.
I
Well,
am gonna have some of that, which means I got
yeah, just spit in it. You'll be fine.
So, and I think I brought this up before, definitely on my podcast, maybe here. I was actually at Balcones interviewing Jared, like this whole thing days after TTP released their proposed rules, and I met Emma in the blending room there after she'd been there a little while, but that was her first day doing a solo blend of, I believe it was Lineage. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, now I guess with the close of that chapter of her career, it feels like kind of an interesting bookend to have been recording my first ever podcast, sort of ish, right? My first ever interview that could have been a podcast episode, and now talking about her departure from Balcones on a podcast so many years later.
But it also goes to show you that, and I've done shows about this, is knowing your worth. And like I'm not saying that Balcones did anything shady. That's not what I'm saying at all. But like, and there comes a certain point in your life when you're like, I got to do something different, or maybe I want to try something a little bit different. And Doug, this kind of goes into your stuff as well. Like I want to go do this. I might want to do this for myself and not for another company or something like that. So it also goes to where, you know, there's a lot of other people, like I was saying, in the whiskey industry that, you know, had got let go from companies and now they're working with other companies like Anna Hines. Anyway, we're now working
Anna
for Lost Hens. I knew I got it right the first time.
Yes,
now working for Lost Lantern, which is great. But at the same time, like, you're finding your niche in this community, and that's the best part about this. And that's something that all three of us can say. The whiskey community, and specifically, I don't think I hear too many tequila lovers, or maybe wine. Wine might be a close second, but tequila or absinthe lovers talking about the community of people that come out for support, the people that have supported us. And we saw this just during our barrel pick, the people that just were like, yep, I got it. They didn't even taste it. They didn't know anything about it. They bought it because they love us.
Blind faith.
And well, we talked about, I mean, some of them at least
did, but it's still blind faith. Like, okay, you know.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I mean, I think we sold them on the price point, right? Just like an $85 bottle of
the price point was good, yeah. But
$65 for a cask strength going out of style whiskey is also an easy sells itself kind of price point.
Yeah, well, it really is. It really is. I mean, we had it easy. I'll say that. But anyway,
I mean, like, even if you hate it, you paid $65 for cask strength whiskey. It'll get the job done, right?
Absolutely. Mix it in a cocktail. I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
You know?
It's your whiskey. Do what you want with it. It'll break my heart if you tell me.
Hopefully nobody hates it.
Yeah.
You know.
So far, I haven't. I mean, we've heard reviews from damn near everyone who bought a bottle.
Yeah.
Right. Like, that's how tight knit the community here is. I mean, I feel like, no joke, I feel like we've gotten 12 reviews not from us.
Yep.
I think Phil counts because he wasn't really part of the pick.
Right.
And he did the reviews too.
Yep.
Like, basically a dozen different people have done reviews of it, which is that's a third of the bottles right there, plus any one of them who bought backups.
Right. So I guess that goes to not our next thing, but we talked about the barrel pick, but I actually did a whole episode on the barrel pick, and what we were talking about, possibly
really
off
good
camera.
episode. I highly recommend, if you're not going to listen to much of Randall's show, and like, you should. That was a horrible way to open. If you're going to pick just one episode to listen,
don't listen to any of them besides that one.
If you haven't ever listened to one of Randall's shows, please do yourself a favor. I want you to listen to the last episode posted of Off Topic Whiskey. And then the very next one that you listen to, I want you to listen to the very first Whiskey Shaman.
They are completely different.
The growth this man has gone through on camera and microphone has been so incredible. And
yeah,
I mean, I love the guy dearly.
Well, you know,
okay,
from day one.
And just to be clear, when this comes out, the barrel pick deep dive is not the most recent. So it's episode number 184.
184.
And actually, the most recent episode that I haven't had a chance to listen to yet, because it was yesterday while I was on the plane, is 185 is the whiskey market healing. So
and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that you said that, because that was the same thing that I was thinking, because a buddy of mine sent me a picture. I'm in a group chat with some guys, and he sent me a picture of, and this is not ASM, but of Weller 107 on the shelves at the store. And they were like, "Oh, what is this?" Like, we're actually seeing it on the shelves. And you know,
Brother, you don't even know.
RNDC isn't keeping all. Anyway, sorry. So that was part of it.
Same deal. Skip from the Whiskey Lodge saw a bottle of E.H. Taylor small batch for $60 sitting on the shelf with many bottles behind it.
Yep, absolutely.
Us three have seen this forever. Bad whiskey sits on the shelves. I mean, it's just what it is.
But
anyway, now it's bad whiskey sitting on shelves for the price it costs to be,
that it should sit on the shelf for.
instead of $300 over MSRP.
Absolutely. Well, okay, getting back to the story that I was talking about. I did a whole episode on the Bonvale barrel picks that we did. And both Doug and Germ mentioned that this was the first time I had ever done anything like this. And so for me, I was seeing it through, I'm going to say virgin eyes, right? But at the same time, like, I know my way around a whiskey. I've been in this whiskey industry for a long time. I know how to pick good whiskey. And the fact that we came to a general consensus on the same whiskey, and we were just like, yep, that's it. And then when you try it with the original one next to the new one, since it sat in the barrel for a second, right? And then you realize, oh man, it got a little bit better. Because there's
it could have gotten worse.
It could have got worse, right?
It could have, because my buddy Doc Martinez did a barrel pick recently, and it sat in the barrel for 3 months, and it was a cognac and a Calvados finished. Well, guess what? It changed. It got oakier. It just changed. Now it's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good whiskey, but at the same time, it's not what he picked. And that's kind of one of the things that I kind of talked about was like, hey, if you're going to pick something, you need to make sure that they need to vat it or something right away, or you need to hope that it's going to get better, because guess what? If you end up picking 200 bottles and now they're not exactly what you want, that still has your name on it. So I'm just really pleased. And I, like I said in the episode, I couldn't have done it with two cooler people, they too. And I know I'm blowing smoke up both your asses, and you don't need it because you have big enough heads as it is, but I love you guys, and I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
Well, thank you. What the things you said in that episode about working with us on this barrel pick were really touching, and finding out that this was your first barrel pick, I had no idea, because you've been in this game for so much longer than me.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer so much longer is, but you've definitely been doing it longer than me.
2015.
Let me just scroll back. Yeah, 2015. I was just going to scroll back to episode 1 and see how many years ago it published.
No, way before YouTube.
Oh yeah. No, Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you started the off topic, or rather the Whiskey Shaman channel 3 years ago was your first episode.
Yep.
Don't know exactly the date. March 26, 2023, it says it published.
Yep.
So that's actually shit, dude. You were almost exactly a month before I started my YouTube channel.
Yep.
So all right, I guess we've been on YouTube the same amount of time. But anyways, yeah, the McCarthy's pick was terrifying, right? What you pointed out there, I forgot how stressed I was, because we did that pick almost a full year before it went into bottles.
Oh God.
And in the meantime, the sister barrel was picked by Take and the Aficionados group. And my individual samples didn't have barrel number 701 or 702 on them, so I didn't know which barrel I exactly was tasting. God. And they couldn't tell me whether he picked my barrel, the one I wanted, or the other barrel, which to my palate were rather different from each other.
Yeah.
And I was terrified that the barrel that I was deciding to pick or not, I no longer had a choice between two.
Right.
And also it was a year older. And so I was just hoping, because the barrel I wanted could deal with a little bit more oak, and the other barrel would have gone sour. So I was just hoping, and I was like, could you guys please send me another sample of that barrel before, so that we can just make me feel a little bit better about where we're headed. Right.
Yep.
Because it took a long time to do the paperwork on that one. It wasn't like I wanted to wait another year. It was figuring out how we would retail it. And what was really nice about Distillerie Acadian is that he was so motivated to move those picks as soon as possible that he basically said, in the interest of time, you might have your own partners or whatever. In the interest of time, unless you've got like exactly this structure of how you're going to do distribution, I want you to use one of mine that I know works.
Yeah.
And I said, great.
Yeah, we like that. That's easy. That's
right?
the easy
It
button.
gives us a little bit less flexibility about certain choices that we could make in the process, but less flexibility is good for getting it done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we
And it
got it
got
done
done. And we got
really
it
fast.
done.
When did our first samples we got in like November, December? I
Something
think.
like that. Yeah.
And then we did the pick in basically they got bottled in what, March? April?
March.
Yeah.
Bottled in March.
I have the box right
So-
here.
So yeah, like 3-4 months or maybe 5 months of drift.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Over the winter.
115. So in January.
Okay. So January to April, what was it then? I think it was at
Yeah.
least 3 months. before
Okay.
they went into
Yeah.
bottles.
Okay.
So yeah, the fact that we got it done in that length of time, considering it took a year to do the McCarthy's.
Yeah.
On the one hand, I'd like to say I brought my experience to it, having done it once before, but
Right.
mostly that was here's what worked, here's what didn't, here's what we should avoid. But mostly it was Philip and Distillerie Acadian being on the ball with logistics like
Absolutely.
right
They
away.
were
To
Absolutely.
the point where
was
like
on the ball,
we
and
were
I
all
really
getting
appreciate
like
that.
hassled almost about like, hey, you guys got to make
Yes.
decisions fast.
Absolutely.
You guys
Yeah.
got to write
Right.
tasting notes faster. We got to get this thing.
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah.
I'm typing as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And my
I
experience with
got
barrel
a
picks
day job. I'm working.
I've done several barrel picks now, but it's through a retailer here local to me, and him and I, either taste the things together, sit down next to each other and taste the things together, or he was at the distillery and tasted a couple things and had them bottle samples, and I got the samples, but we pick, and within 4 weeks it's on the shelf.
Yeah.
So I mean, my experience has been a super fast turnaround, and I haven't had any any skin in the game, so to speak, right?
Right.
Like it has been, it's all through him as or that retail location, and it sits on the shelf, and I don't take any money from it, but at the same time, I have the enjoyable experience of doing the pick. And I will remember, I remember very, very, very clearly the very first one we did. We were out in the parking lot on the way in, and he said, listen, if we don't like any of them, we don't have to pick a barrel. That's not, I mean, yes, we're here to pick a barrel, but we
Right.
don't have to. We can walk away.
Right. And back on the community thing, you have to remember this is all about the community. Just showing up and tasting barrels, that's the event. And like,
Mhm.
if we're honest, that's where the people doing the pick get the most enjoyment out of it. Aside from
Absolutely.
the second part where everybody gets the thing you picked and they love it too, like that's great. But in terms of like you're not guaranteed that bit of community. Like it's good that we have that community, but you don't necessarily, you're not guaranteed to hear from the people that buy it. The
Right.
people you picked it with, that's the community event. That's the real intimate personal thing. And actually one of the things that I would say, not bummed necessarily about it, but that when I was doing the pick of the McCarthy's for the Whiskey Lodge, I wanted the whole mod team to be involved, but I only had so much sample to go around. So I only got to send it to like 4 people, and most of them didn't really have an opinion. Like you're the reviewer, you like do what you think is right. It wasn't the same as going to the distillery and tasting some barrels together and going, this is the one, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
If anything, the McCarthy's was more, it was between me and Joe and Caitlin kind of roaming the barrel house together and figuring out what is the thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Well, I got to
like,
tell you,
that's
Doug,
cool
you did,
too.
you did
Like
pick the
working
right
with the
one.
distillery.
You did pick the right barrel, though. It is.
That McCarthy 701 is
Holy
just,
crap.
Maybe the best whiskey ever.
I mean,
it's up there, man.
it's close.
It really is. I look at it every day. It's sitting right there every day. I look at it. I'm like,
The fact I bought 16 bottles, 6 for me for sure, maybe up to 12, and then the rest to give to my people,
I need to see if there's more left, because
There's not.
No, they're sold out.
it is gone now finally.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gone. It's gone. It
Okay.
sold out. It sold out, I think, like the same week our Distillerie Acadian came out,
Okay.
which is a nice, like,
Yeah, that was nice for you, huh? That worked.
nice
Yeah,
moment in time, right? Like, oh
absolutely.
shit, finally. I mean, like, I would love for that thing to be there all the time. To
Right.
like, if somebody could come along and be like, oh, like I'm almost out of my second bottle. I'd really like to have a third. And it's like, well, you can still buy it, right? But as for me as a picker, it's not a great look that my barrel pick sits there for a year, not
Well,
sold
no.
out. And it's also not a great look
I do
for the
have a
people who
backup of
stuck
it.
their necks out for me.
I'm not into my second bottle yet, so
I could get you, like, I have so much extra. If you really want it, I can get you some.
yeah. And I figured that was probably a possibility.
Yeah, and that's why I
Speaking
bought
of
so much
which,
extra.
If anybody does listen to this and did miss out on the barrel 45 that you really wanted one, reach out. We'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
Yep.
At the very least, we can make sure you can taste it.
Yes,
For sure.
one way or the other.
I have a sample of it right here, literally right here,
Ready to go.
ready
Ready
to go,
to
ready to
So
deliver.
I think we have beaten the horse of our barrel pick
Yeah.
More than once.
enough.
There's
I
other news
think-
stories.
I do want to add one last thing about it. After it released and the packages started landing on people's doors, and within hours of seeing pictures of people getting their boxes, I'm looking at posts on Instagram and posts on Discord and all of that, and I'm like, everybody is talking about it, trying it, posting pictures of it. It made my heart happy.
Absolutely.
It put a smile on my face, and I couldn't appreciate all of you people any more than I really did at that moment.
The
So,
reception was a community moment. Everybody
It
was,
really-
but
it
that was
really
the really
was.
cool thing about you order it, when it's sold out, they ship. You're
Yep.
all getting them at the same time. So we
Right.
had a
Yeah,
collective
that was
community
cool too.
moment of everybody's getting the bottles at the same time, popping them open, loving them, and everyone's like, mine's coming tomorrow. Oh my God, I got it. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
To have that, like, because with the McCarthy's, it was kind of like, if you know, you bought it, you were part of the first dozen or so, you got all your bottles, you talked about it amongst yourselves. Other people found it, they bought it later. The fact that it was like 4 or 5 months and we sold out about 100 bottles, and then there was still another 60 that sold out over the coming, and it was just like everybody kept like discovering it and getting it and having it and going, this is great. But we didn't get to have that giant community, like collective,
Right.
like, oh my God, I'm so glad, as a group. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna do it again. We haven't decided quite what, but related to some of our news stories, actually, I have a lead on something that I'm gonna do, and I just need to decide who I'm gonna attach to it. So it could be you guys, it could be the Whiskey Lodge, it could just be a solo thing. But so Lost Lantern, as you know, has a private barrel program, like private club barrel program. So you can work with them to find a barrel that they have, or source a barrel from one of their partner distilleries that is to your liking. And related to Anna Hinn's leaving Westland, or being let go from Westland and then joining Lost Lantern, she is going to be one of the people managing the private barrel program. And on the note of Del Bach, when Frontera went off the market, whatever, out of production.
Yeah.
I said to Adam, I actually said to Mark first, I would love if we could do a cask strength version of Frontera as a barrel pick, as a club pick, as a Hail Mary, or not whatever, as a swan song for Frontera. Like, I would love to do a cask strength pick of Frontera as a Frontera send off.
All right. I'm having a thought here, Doug.
Oh,
And you're feeding me this thought.
wow.
How about this? And let us know in the comments, everybody. What do you think about this idea? Doug, you want to do a single barrel pick of Frontera, cast strength single barrel pick of Frontera from Del Bach. It'll be one of the last ones available. It'll be something special. It'll be really cool.
Yep. And apparently that's my thing. I do barrel picks of things that don't exist anymore after I do the barrel
I
pick.
have a barrel sitting at a certain Midwest distillery that I really, really would love to put my name on it. Randall comes up with another single barrel.
Okay.
And the three of us go through Lost Lantern single barrel program, and we do 3 different barrels for the 3 different guys. But it's all one grain.
Holy crap.
That would be really cool. That would be so good as a co-marketing for us in Lost Lantern too. We give them the 3 guys collection.
I like.
that's
this
what it's
idea.
called.
I'm liking this idea. Let's get guys in the everybody in the comments. Let us know what you think about that.
Yeah, and tell us how many hundreds of dollars you're willing to spend on
Yes,
this collection.
exactly.
I mean,
You need
this isn't going to be
your
cheap,
freaking
guys. This
wallet.
is, this
ain't
is
$65 bottles, okay?
easy,
Yep.
easy $300 bottle.
So what I can say so far is I know that Adam and Nora are on board with the concept of a Frontera. The thing about Frontera is that it's primary aged and then vatted and then finished in the PX. So single barrel is a bit of a loosey thing. And the question is, does Mark do the blend or does Nora do the blend? And I think the fact that Del Bach was just acquired makes it actually harder for us to go direct through Del Bach because they're sorting out media relationships and stuff. But they have that ongoing relationship with Lost Lantern. So it's still between them whether they want Mark or Nora to do the blend, because it's gonna, some part of the vatting is gonna have to be in Del Bach's warehouse also, right? So it's like, do you send off the PX barrel or do you, right? So but they're all into it, right? So it's just a matter of us working out the logistics. So I like your idea. I think the timing would be nice for us to like hit kind of the end of this year with a nice trio. A nice little holiday collection. Ooh.
Yeah, there you go.
When we do our holiday gift giving guide this year, we don't have to come up with bullshit cocktail smokers.
Yeah, right.
We can just say buy
our holiday gift giving guide this year is just buy these 3 bottles. That's it.
That's all you got to do.
Everybody on your list, just buy these 3 bottles.
Yep.
I like it. I like the idea. I think we can work on that.
Yeah,
I think we can.
And then we push off Blind Sample Showdown live to 2027 because there's no way we're doing all that.
Absolutely
this year.
Absolutely not.
Ambition. There's always
we could try. We gotta figure out what the logistics are.
The beauty of the barrel pick stuff is it realistically doesn't take up a lot of physical time. Like,
correct.
I mean, there's things that you have to do, right? You have to be on top of a couple things, but as far as it eating up months of time, it's not doing that.
No, it's not. And another thing it's doing is it's, as we've wanted to do from the beginning, is similar to what Lost Lantern's doing, is put a spotlight on these specific distilleries. And so we all find one that we know and love, which I think everybody that's watching and listening is going to understand which ones we're going to pick. Right. So it just, I don't know. To me, it just turns into like, okay, this is what 3 Guys 1 Grain is all about. This is our shit right here. This is us. And each individually, are you more of a, Doug?
Are you a Randall type? Or are you a Doug type? Are you Doug type? Yeah. I like it. I like all the implications here.
Yeah. Doug's gone. Fantastic. I don't know where he went. Where
did Doug go?
He left.
Not looking at you guys while doing the show is actually easier than I thought it was going to be.
Really? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that, because I'm sitting there going, he's not looking at me at all. He's not even looking at me.
Because we're ugly?
No, it's just, you're distracting. Y'all are distracting.
Oh, absolutely. I have been known to be distracting. Absolutely.
Anyways. All right.
Your guy had to walk away to try to find the grain. He's still not here.
God dang it.
That damn green.
Okay, so
let's see. We've talked about 2
more glasses of this. This shit's good, guys. This is whoever said they weren't sure about it. I'm so glad I bought 2 bottles.
I said I wasn't sure about it. But,
I mean, I wasn't really sure about
it.
If
you're betting that is a great bottle of whiskey, I'm in. The little tidbit that you said about it now, I have way more interest in it.
I do. Right. I just sent you my tasting notes because I just did them while I was tasting a little bit. Gummy bears, peach schnapps, oolong tea, bright red fruits.
Sold.
You got me, bro.
Oh my God.
Come on, let's go.
Wait a minute. This is for a very specific group of people, but what type of gummy bears? What brand?
Haribo.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's the and it's the one that's like red and yellow. Specifically.
Okay.
I don't know why that's coming out in my brain. That's the thing about being a whiskey reviewer. You just you get this weird cinema into your memory and just like the weirdest shapes.
Okay,
colors.
like here's the thing that I've always kind of wanted to understand. Is it even really a tasting note? Or is it just implanted in your mind? Is it actually in the whiskey or not?
Certain things can be.
Yeah,
like green apple, pineapple.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not saying that notes aren't there, but I get the note of pine resin or whatever on a whiskey all the time. Is that note actually in there, or is it just my brain saying that is in there?
It's something that's triggering that specific memory for you.
Cut grass.
Yeah.
Exactly.
A tiny bit of cut grass on this one. Also.
Cut grass.
Okay.
And I was gonna say something in the fennel family, but as you've talked about, like fennel and anise and like all that other stuff. They're very related. Right? Herbal goes in
they
one
are.
direction, herbal
They
goes in another direction.
but they're also really different because one is more black licorice and one is more like dill. So like there's a huge scope there. Like when I had the Broad Branch, I know this is a rye whiskey, but when I had the Broad Branch rye, I got green.
Rye.
Yeah, exactly. I got green anise so bad on that, and I've never really got that on a rye whiskey before.
Wait a
And
minute. Are you talking the Broad Branch from Lost Lantern?
Absolutely.
I just had that Friday. And,
I know you did.
Oh my God, I thought it was fantastic.
It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, that's not what we're about. But what I'm saying is like your notes are your notes, and that's all that matters. Like
Yes,
what you get on it is what you get on it. If it tastes like grandma's cookies, it's freaking grandma's cookies. It doesn't matter to me what you taste on it, as long is it good and are you going to have another sip of it? That's all I give a shit about.
Realistically, those are the notes you need. Do I like it? Do I not like it?
Right.
Period.
Everything else is just a way of having a
realistically,
conversation.
Yeah. Realistically,
Finding other stuff
do
you
I
like.
like it and do I not like it can change every time you go back to it.
Absolutely.
That's true.
I don't like
That's
it
true.
today. I don't like it today.
That happens.
But 3 days later, oh man, this is great. I love it today. What's going on?
Yeah,
it's just how
and
it is.
the neck pour being a closed off bottle or whatever is also a real thing. 20-year-old, I kind of fully expected that would happen. I think one of the reasons I'm pouring multiples from this is because I want to give it more air to just like see what happens. But as it's been sitting in the glass, first of all, the nose was always really good, but the palate was really muted. And normally it's the other way around.
Right.
Yeah.
And as it sat here, the palate opened up a lot and it's the nose, right? The palate and the nose are the same. It just took a while for the palate to wake up. So yeah, just remember that. Give your whiskey some time. But also the shared cultural context is another important thing. Like if you're reading, I mean, we're from all opposite corners of the country, right? I mean, I lived on the East, I lived in Texas, I've lived in the Pacific Northwest, but consider me the Pacific Northwest guy. Germ is the Midwest guy, Randall's the Texas guy, and Phil being, he was on this show once and he's my co-host on the Single Malt Frontier, is in Virginia. Phil. So we've got the East Coast, right? And like, I thought that among the four of us, our cultural contexts would be different enough that we would not necessarily agree on notes as often as we seem to.
Right.
The fact that we did, our tasting notes to the extent that we wrote different tasting notes for the Distillerie Acadian, the 4 samples even, right? We all had exactly the same things to say about them.
For the most part, there's maybe 1 or 2 things that we each had that were a little bit different from the other 2.
Yeah.
But for the most part, the meat and potatoes of the tasting notes were identical.
Yep. Not only can you tell we're tasting the same things, which is not always obvious. You read a reviewer from the UK tasting notes on something and a reviewer from the US on a Scotch tasting notes on the same thing.
Yeah,
they're like not the same. But if you read the full set and you're like, no, I can tell you're tasting the same thing because I've tasted enough other things that I can see how this thing that you said could have morphed into this other thing for somebody else, and like you can map it, right? But when you've got people in the same culture, like we're talking in the same vocabulary. We've got the same shared cultural context, the same candies, the same desserts, the same whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
it's really,
we're supposed to be doing a news segment.
What's the news?
What else do we got in the news? Randall, what else?
Let's see. We talked about Del Bach. Randall, you brought up Balcones. You might as well hit on that. Oh, you did.
I did already.
You did already.
That was the thing.
That's what I had in my mind. Everybody knows how I feel about Diageo. Everybody knows how I feel about Diageo buying Balcones. I feel, and this is by no means any shot at anybody that works in proximity with Emma at Balcones, i.e. Jared or any of the other team at the actual Waco place. I feel she was undervalued there.
Amen.
I'm hoping that she finds her niche and she succeeds thoroughly. I hope that Balcones can recover from what the hell ever is going on there. Unfortunately, I love old Balcones. I love the Balcones that I have, but I am not buying any more for right now for the foreseeable future. And that's a sad, sad day for me.
It is.
So I hope they can recover from that and bring me back on board. And I will gladly accept that onboarding when things go back to somebody that's in Waco is in control.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah.
what's the other news? You mentioned Anna Hins moving to Lost
Mhm.
Lantern. She is from Westward.
Westland.
Westland. Yes.
It's not me today.
It isn't. Yeah, no, I do that shit all the time. Westward, Westland.
Everybody does.
Same,
And the
same.
thing is,
It's fine.
there's Anna from Westland, and there's Anna from Westward, whose names are spelled differently and pronounced differently. Yeah.
But Anna Hins, was let go from Westland as she was not necessarily into the whiskey production, anything, more of a business marketing standpoint. But she is now employed with Lost Lantern, so we can look for her expertise on the Lost Lantern side of things. And
yeah,
if you have ever talked to Anna or know anything about Anna, you are excited about this. And
if you're a whiskey nerd, you probably know who Anna Hins is.
Yeah, she's a fan.
She's been on Single Cask Nation. Sorry, the One Nation Under Whiskey podcast, which is their podcast. She's been on there a couple of times. She's been on my podcast to talk about Gary on a 10. She's an extremely knowledgeable. She is a whiskey drinker like you and me. She comes from a business development background, but she's passionate for whiskey like all of us who have other day jobs. And she found a way to pivot from what she was doing to working for Westland in the business development.
She did the dream, right? Like she combined her love and hobby into her career.
Yep.
That were separate things, and she was able to figure out how to meld them together. And she is
now continuing that with Lost Lantern, because all of you guys well know that we love Lost Lantern, right? I don't care if they're making bourbon, rye, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like the stuff that they're putting out, like these single barrel picks. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to show you my shelf in the house. Like, it's stupid at this point. I have it separated because like there's way, my wife will be like why is there so much?
Like I've said
Lost
before,
Lantern?
This is only 1/3 of my Lost Lanterns,
Right.
because I've got a whole shelf in that cabinet and a whole shelf in that cabinet. Also
exactly. I mean, and then Gerb's like, I have them all. I have the Pokemon Master.
He's got a whole floor to ceiling display plus a few else.
Yeah, I got some downstairs yet too.
I got a couple. It's okay. I got a couple.
But they gotta quit putting out bourbon. Put out some rye. Is light. I'm light on the rye.
I am light.
ASM is pretty heavy. Bourbon is way too heavy.
My hot take,
cool cream colored labels, those would be fine too.
Okay. Yeah. The wheat whiskeys, the weird ones.
Yeah, the weird whiskeys. Yeah.
There are great bourbons out there for bourbon drinkers.
Amen.
And there are many people doing picks, and Lost Lantern among them. The bourbons are great. I would be perfectly happy having Lost Lantern pick my bourbon to drink for the rest of my life. The problem is, in 6 months of the club, I got more bourbon than I could drink in the rest of my life.
There we go. There's the issue. There's where the issue is.
Absolutely.
And and I'm not. This is probably not necessarily I mean, I would say it's probably somewhat calculated to do that, but it's also probably one of those things where it's like, the distilleries we go to, in order for them to make money, making bourbon is what they do. Well, they source their rye. They don't do a single malt. So the only thing they're making is bourbon. So we really enjoy it. It's great. We want to introduce this distillery to you. So bourbon it is.
At some point, we need to be asking ourselves, as whiskey consumers, as a whiskey production industry, are we making bourbon because we really want to make bourbon, because the market really needs more bourbon? Or are we making bourbon because people buy bourbon, because people make bourbon, because people buy bourbon?
No, you're right.
What I really enjoy about a bottle of bourbon is Distillerie X makes a bourbon because they believe they make one of the best bourbons.
Yeah.
And it is actually unique. It's different. It's exciting. It's special.
I'll throw one out. Rich grain.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fantastic. I mean, I don't know what the mash. Well, I do know what the mash bill on it was.
I'll throw one out.
It wasn't that different from a lot of other places, but the stuff that he used, the location that it was made in, and the amount of time that it sat unattended. it made some magic. Now, was their regular when they were open and regular business and the stuff they were slinging behind the bar at the tasting room, was it the same as what we got?
Probably not.
Maybe not. But I bet you it was still pretty good. What was the last one? The oated one? The hard is that hard shore?
Yeah, hard shore. Yeah.
Man, I got to tell you, I didn't think of this until somebody mentioned it to me while I was drinking it. But that hard shore bourbon, for all you guys that are dropping $200 and $350 on those debt liens, yeah, go over to hard shore. You'll thank me later.
Coming soon.
It absolutely destroys the debt lien as far as taste and stuff and quality and price on it. Far more realistic.
Absolutely.
I'm not a big fan of a distillery Dan Garrisoning themselves right out of the market, but
and I was going to throw that out as an example of bourbon who's doing their own thing, whether you like them or not. Garrison Brothers is a unique product.
It's a unique product, but is it worth the amount of money that they charge for it?
100% no.
No, it's not.
100% no.
And
then on the flip side, you look at a similar price point from 888, right? The Notch, and you can say like, I at least see how that price point comes out in the production.
I will tell you this. Okay, so the Notch 12, what is it? $300. We're just going to use that number right there. Okay, 888 Distillery moves across the strait onto mainland, makes the same product. That product is now $99. The same is no changes other than the location that it is. That Nantucket tax is insane. The amount of money it costs to get stuff out there, the amount of money it costs to do business on the island and then get it back to the mainland is absolutely astronomical. And that's where that extra money comes from.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting? Even though they're so close to the mainland, you would not have the same climate. And we're back on 888 again.
Absolutely.
Because they're right on the Gulf Stream. They're isolated. They've got they've got a little microclimate there. That island is different from
the whiskey they make is absolutely unique to that place.
Absolutely. And I will tell you,
you can't get the same whiskey moving at 30 miles over.
Oh no, no, absolutely not. I talked to Dan Garrison about his prices. He wouldn't come on my show, and he basically said, I don't give a shit. I'm going to charge what I want to charge for this whiskey because I know it's good. And if you don't like it, don't fucking buy it. That's what he told me. And you have to respect that.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
Nothing wrong with that.
At the same time, there is a whole subculture of whiskey people that say, oh, this is really expensive. It must be the best out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's something to be said for the premiumization based on price, right? Absolutely. You just make your product more premium. You didn't change anything. Your product was as good at $60 as it is at $200, but you figured out that enough people buy it at $200
that it makes it for
you've got the right amount of production.
It makes it worthwhile.
Yeah. All right. I want to just make one more point about Anna Hins and then move on.
Please.
I think Westland, on paper, there's a certain probably, a bean counter somewhere said, the marginal value of this person is not advancing our profit margin enough anymore. Right. That's probably where that decision comes from.
Okay.
I think that's a miscalculation on the part of Westland because they're undervaluing having somebody who has that kind of that kind of business chops that really develop the business continuously on staff. On the flip side, I think we as a whiskey community are going to benefit tremendously by this move to Lost Lantern. Because Lost Lantern is objectively, regardless of whether this was a miscalculation for Westland, Lost Lantern is objectively going to get way more marginal value out of Anna Hins.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
We are all going to benefit from this.
Agreed. Including Lost Lantern.
Yes.
And including her.
Right.
And maybe
she wouldn't have came over if she didn't, if it wasn't good for her.
Maybe even hilariously, Westland will also benefit a little by this because of her
they still work together.
There.
She might have connections there. I think she
let
still does.
Let them get some nice casks. Possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great.
They still have the connections. So
all right. Next piece of news that I want to get to because I really think we should talk about this.
Go ahead.
The American Craft Spirits Association has released a what did they call it? The certified seal, the certified craft seal.
Certified craft seal. Yes.
Yeah.
So much like if any of you know Texas whiskey, If you are certified Texas whiskey, you get a
Right
little
there.
badge of honor. You got one already? Yeah,
I got one.
You get a little sticker on the bottle that says you're certified Texas whiskey. So I'm
Yep.
assuming the ACSA is going to have a similar
idea. And in fact,
Similar
the lead of the development of this seal was Colin Spielman, longtime ACSA board member and co-founder and distiller at Kings County, who was part of the steward of the Empire Rye trademark and logo. So there are numerous examples of this kind of seal existing in the whiskey production space, where through various legal means, getting these things to have some kind of meaning, or at least like, oh, it's a trademark, so you've got to license it, right? There's some legal backing that says not everybody can just stick this stuff on your label. So what the ACSA craft seal is going to, let me read this quote first. So the American Craft Spirits Association CEO, I didn't know they had a CEO. I thought they just had a president of the board. But anyways, Margie A.S. Lehrman, CEO, American Craft Spirits Association, said, "We started this process by asking a simple question: how can we make it easier for consumers to confidently choose craft spirits? The certified craft seal is designed to help consumers navigate a crowded retail market, giving them a clear, trustworthy signal that the spirit in their hand was produced thoughtfully by an independent U.S. distillery. When consumers feel confident in what they're buying, our entire craft community benefits. The eligibility criteria are being a member of American Craft Spirits Association, the same as being a member of the American Craft Spirits Association. Limited to ACSA members who meet the association's definition of a craft spirits producer, including being independent licensed distiller with a valid DSP, producing fewer than 750,000 proof gallons removed from bond annually, having no more than 50% ownership by a producer whose combined annual production exceeds the craft size, and adhering to the code of ethics. So you have to be in good standing with ACSA, in short, anybody who puts the seal on the bottle. And that means something. That's actually really significant. The first label I personally have seen with this label affixed is the Westward quarterly club release that's rolling out right now, which is the Pinot cask, which ironically was not blended by Miles Monroe. But
Really?
that's a whole separate
that's a whole other topic.
Whoa.
Which
Now,
probably shouldn't get
how
into.
does Westward still fit in with the ASCA?
They actually have always been craft size. They've never exceeded that production volume.
What's their ownership look like?
And they've never been owned more than 50% by.
Okay. All right. That's where my question was, not the proof gallons.
So
I
they
knew they
were
the proof gallons.
prior to the bankruptcy filing, they were owned, I believe, 49% by a private holdings company. Which I believe,
which is fine as long as the
this
private holdings company doesn't own other places that produce more than, combined more than 750.
Right. But as long it also doesn't matter as long as they are at least 50%, I guess, privately owned. So whatever their structure was, they managed that. So they met the qualifications.
They kept into that. Okay.
I would say they worked hard from a philosophical level and also a business level, right? They did what they needed to do as a business to maintain the philosophy that they wanted to stay a craft producer according to ACSA's definition, lacking some other definition, right? So they wanted to stay within those confines, and they worked hard at that. I would say they worked hard at that.
Okay.
They could have sold more of the distillery off. Instead, they went the opposite direction, where they restructured, bought back a bunch of the distillery, and then kind of sold again, but to a smaller private holdings company. That the whole thing is. So actually, we're going to find out a lot more about this, because in late June or early July, I'm going to have Tom Mooney, CEO of Westward, on my show to give us the whole breakdown about the bankruptcy filing, graduating or being out of Chapter 11 bankruptcy, all the changes they've made recently. You've heard lots of different things. One of which is that Miles Monroe is now on a contract basis instead of salary. So he's no longer directly employed by Westward. That's the big news. Their production staff has been cut significantly. Their quarterly program is, among other things, they're not charging shipping if you only buy one bottle. the tasting room closed for a while and then reopened. There were some thoughts about whether that was nefarious in some way, like they're restructuring how they do their business or whatever. There's been a lot of stuff. There's been a lot of weird mixed signals where people are looking at Westward and going, we love you, we love what you make, but like, what exactly are you telling us?
Right.
Like, you're doing these businessy things that send signals, and if you were a publicly traded company, your stock price would not look good right now.
Right.
Because
you're saying one thing and doing the other.
Yeah. So they're gearing up for something. We'll find out, I guess, sort of where that all lands. Like, we know that it's a change of ownership, essentially, right? It's a change of ownership in progress as they try to find their way back to being healthy. But also, while the industry's having a rough time, they've got a lot of whiskey they produced where they don't need to be producing as much or at all.
Right.
It's but at the same time, they are still doing their best to send signals as being a upstanding member of the craft spirits community in terms of, among other things, having the ACSA seal.
Yeah.
So they won't be the only ones, but they ended up being the first.
I think. Yeah. They'll definitely not be the only ones. I mean, there will be a lot.
Amen.
That jump on board with that.
Yeah. And that actually, we managed to hit all of our news stories then. All of the,
so I have an update because I just got a text back from Emma. Who I asked her, I'm just trying to check bases.
Hold on. I got a thing for this. Hold on. 1 second.
Hold on.
This is actually.
He has an asset. Germ has the biggest assets.
Breaking news.
Bro, oh my God.
It's right on your face.
It is, but I can't choose where it goes.
Really?
Okay.
No.
So Emma just texted me, and so I basically was asking her, in lieu of other things, I said, I just wanted to make sure that you didn't leave on bad terms. Like, because that's what we all think about. Like, I left the company because they weren't paying me what I wanted to, or they were being, rude and hateful to me, or they didn't respect me.
In her case, probably sweeping the floor instead of blending whiskey.
Exactly.
Whiskey
and this is the only thing that she said, and that's what I'm going to go off of because she's a sweet lady and I want to take it for what she had. Not at all. I miss the team dearly. So basically what happened, she decided to step down because she saw ventures forward that were going to be brighter for her than where she was at, which what does that mean for Balcones? What does that mean for her? I don't know. And that's what's so cool about doing a show like this is we don't know what the future brings. Like we could all I'm rebuking this in Jesus' name, but we could all die tomorrow and, we don't know what's going to happen. But at the same time, like you have to think about what tomorrow brings you and do the best for you and your family. And that's what she's trying to do. And we can't fault her for that, right? I don't want to be stuck in the place where I'm at, and I know nobody else does as well. So just her reaching back out to me like that means a lot because she doesn't have to, like it's not a huge deal. I'm a nobody. So the fact that she did is a big deal. So
absolutely awesome.
Was that a text or an Instagram message?
That was a text.
You got her number.
Hey, don't worry about what I do, homie.
I have some phone numbers. I don't have.
I do too.
I've got her on Instagram.
I unfortunately I'm like, should I text them? No, that's weird, right? Like,
right. Like you always think like the only person the only people I feel okay texting without a real like significant reason. I will text Joseph O'Sullivan and Caitlin Bartlemay anytime because we're actual friends. They gave me their phone numbers not for business reasons, but because they're like, hey, like we're coming to visit. Let's stay in touch so we can arrange dinner. Like, let's hang out, right?
Caitlin is. I don't know Joe. I haven't spoken with Joe. But Caitlin,
you need to. He's a baller.
He's just so busy lately. Like, he barely responds to my text, even though like I'm the first person he would text if he has time. Outside of his family, I'm sure. Like I'm not that.
Wow,
close.
Doug, that's pretty awfully pretentious of you, isn't it?
Doug's like, you better text me back.
Caitlin, however, I have spoken
with
Caitlin, obviously her being on the show and all of that. What a magical person. What
Absolutely.
an absolute
She is a
magical
gem.
person.
She is a gem.
I don't think they get any better than that.
They don't.
They don't. And speaking of underappreciated people, we're not going to get into it, but like, man, like, what is it? What is it about people like Emma Crandall, people like, I think arguably Joseph O'Sullivan was probably a little underappreciated.
He is.
Man,
Moose Allen from
Moose,
Yeah,
Moose-
for real.
Moose, yeah.
what a
Moose.
genius who
Like
flies
that
under the
dude.
radar.
That dude,
I'll
like,
tell you what, if I owned a distillery and Moose was my head distiller, it would just be like, Moose, make some shit.
Yeah.
It would
just
like,
tell me
honestly,
how
when I
much
was
it
there,
costs, tell me the equipment you need and make some stuff. All right.
that was
you
the last
just
time
do
I did
your
a
thing.
5-hour in-person video recording nonstop. Yeah, no, literally, that's the vibe I got from him. He's like, yeah, Ty lets
Yeah.
me kind of do whatever, and most of it turns out great.
Yeah, he is. He is
143%. Oh, no, not percent. 143 proof rum he just released as a single barrel. Like,
Yeah, I want it.
finished
by the
in
way.
striker barrels.
I
like,
want it, by the way.
What are we doing?
I'm throwing that out there.
Okay,
to you.
I'm working on it.
want that,
Working
by
on it for you.
All right. I don't have the Eclipse, but I have the Cataleja, and I feel like as long as we're talking about Balcones cool projects,
It's close enough. It's close enough.
And they're doing another edition of Cataleja, right?
They're supposed to. It's supposed to be fully peated as well, but it hasn't came out yet. It was supposed to come out in late 25, and here we
Right.
are.
Last I heard, was it really that long ago?
It was.
Yeah.
End of 25.
The train never left the tracks, is what.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had a baby, and the whole last year has kind of disappeared in my mind. Yeah, no, because I was talking to Gabe
That will
late
happen.
last year,
Yep.
and basically he said like, yeah, I think we're still on track to release it.
I think it's a thing. It's a thing,
Yeah.
right?
Anyways, we were talking about ACSA, so here's my ACSA Glencairn, and I'm having my
Put it on your
My
forehead
Balcones.
like Philip does.
well, so that's good for whiskey color, but it's not good for the white light on the white engraving on the glass. So that's a better place. You can see it off to the left of my head. Yeah. Anyway, although ironically, because Balcones is not has not been a craft scale distillery according to ACSA since even before Diageo purchased.
Oh, yeah. They were huge.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
we hit
What
all of our
else?
news stories. What you got coming up
did.
next, Randall? I know you're working on stuff.
I'm always working on stuff. So I'm working on a lot of off-topic things. Everything from plumbing, doing your own plumbing for your house, because my good buddy Doc Martinez, Old Fashioned Ways, he's had a plethora of issues at his house, plumbing related, and I've been trying to help him. He lives about 8 hours away. You know, we're in Texas, but he's
Yeah,
on the
It's
he's
just
on
down
the
the street, 8 hours away.
yeah, exactly. He's on the border. I'm not.
It's just a straight
anyway,
shot.
Yeah, a straight
Easy
shot drive until you can't see dirt anymore. Yeah. So he's been having plumbing issues, and he's like, man,
If you get to the grass, you've gone too far.
exactly. And so I'm working on those. I'm also working on just trying to do the best content that I want to do. And I will say this, and I'm not trying to take away from either one of you. I put out the most content of anybody. Two episodes a week on YouTube, a podcast
do.
every week. Like I'm dying over here, guys. I literally am dying trying to find stuff. But at the same time, I want to create the best thing that I can for you. And so this show gives me a revamp. It fills my cup. And it makes me feel like, okay, I can make it another month, I guess, if we got to do it. I mean, we are literally cutting it close. This is the 31st, guys. Come on. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going out
speaking of
today.
that, this is
This is-
technically recorded on the last day of May.
Going
So our
out
May
It'll be
episode is
out
going out
before
early
the end of
June
May.
15th.
Just how that's happening. It will be out really early. So you're going to get a bonus in June. You're going to have 2 3 Guys 1 Grain episodes in June.
We can hope.
And
To make up for the
Yeah.
one we missed. Yeah.
Sorry.
So
sorry, not sorry.
you're playing the music to play us out of here, but I'm going to talk to
I
you.
am. We're creeping on 2 hours here.
Yes, we are, and that means it's time to go.
Yes.
So I have finally managed to schedule a pretty full roster of interviews. I
Let's
mentioned
go.
We've got Hitter House coming back.
Ooh.
We've got Thornton. We've got 888. Hopefully, I can get out within the next 2 months.
Let's hope.
There's a lot of other stuff there. I posted the whole schedule up on the Patreon. There's a whole lot of people we're trying to schedule, but hopefully that all works out really well. I'm starting a new job, guys. It's official. I start Wednesday.
Congrats.
Congrats, brother.
So we'll see what that does to my time.
I know it's been stressful for you, and like we've been praying for you, and we've been just hoping for the best for you, and I'm glad that something came out.
Yeah. And it's like it's a whole 180 from the beginning of the year.
Right.
I'm excited to go work there. There's a lot of people there who are excited to work with me again. I'm bringing my skill, instead of making a whole pivot and doing something else, I'm bringing the skills that I already have and bringing them up to the next level. It's a great fit. It's going to set our family up for a lot more stability, which hopefully means that I'm a little bit less harebrained when I'm setting up interviews and stuff with people. But we'll see about, again, we'll see about
your mics.
Yeah,
just
don't forget your mic.
Yeah. Got to remember. Oh man, recording on location is a whole skill.
Absolutely.
The video podcast thing is
that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, that's a different game. Absolutely.
All right, and cheers to Kerry Daniels, who does it all the time, and cheers to Alan from
absolutely
from Craft to Conversation. That's the only way he does his interviews, and everything I do when I do a live was because of him teaching me how to do it.
We're gonna cheers out with something a little less widely known.
Okay. So now I gotta find something like that.
I mean, I'm in the shed, guys. I don't have whiskey in here.
That's fine.
He had to plan in advance.
Just
come on.
Dribble something in your glass. I'm just gonna cheers out with something
Besides
that's a little less
samples,
known.
right? Like
I think I've already done this once, but State Line Distillery. This would be
State
batch
Line.
1.
I knew it was going to be
So
State
it's a different
Line.
one. But love this whiskey. Southern Wisconsin. Born and bred, made there. Cheers it. Great stuff. You can buy it on Big Thirst. Not a sponsor. Love the guy though.
I mean, they need to be a sponsor. Seriously.
They should be.
Yeah. We did ask. Didn't we ask?
So yeah, for me, guys, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm still in this limbo state where I don't know if I want to do content or not content on my own. I love doing this stuff with you guys. I really do. But my interest level in the content thing has faded big time. As
it
far
happens.
as my personal stuff. I am tossing the idea of doing a big revamp on the channel and doing something very, very different. Still have whiskey involved, but the focus is on something totally different. And if I make that decision, I will inform y'all ahead of time.
Please do.
So we'll see how that goes. But
does that mean BSS Live is definitely not happening?
No, that's not what that means at all.
All right, great. We're on, baby.
Let
us know in the comments if you want to see BSS Live. We'll figure out how we're going to do it.
If anybody would be interested in a live rendition, like live in-person rendition of the Blind Sample Showdown, say something in the comments. And
I mean, it would have to be like
see
3
what the
people.
interest level looks like, and we'll work on the logistics of it.
It'd have to be us doing it.
No. We'll figure out something different. Like
I was thinking even bigger,
like
better.
a booth at the ASCA conference or something like that. It's like a sign up the day ahead of, or a little while
like
ahead
it's
of
a
time.
3-day tournament.
Exactly what I was thinking. So ACSA,
something like that.
Yeah, ACSA people who are at the conference can sign up to like be contestants. You just have to prove that you have any kind of like, I don't know, there's got to be some kind of qualification, right? But like,
you need
really
to be 21 or older. That's
right. Yeah. Yeah, like you taste a whiskey and whatever you says, it actually sounds like you've tasted whiskey before. Maybe that much, right? And then I was thinking, you know how World Cup has like their like first round where it's like four teams play against each other and then eliminate most of them based on like, you don't have to do 3 samples each person, but give everybody multiple chances, right? Something like that.
Right.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Don't need to start that whole
like
thing
a loser's bracket almost, or time to redeem yourself, a redeemer's bracket. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on this Neshoba 20. This shit has no right to be this.
Okay.
Hey, I'm interested now. I might go pick up a bottle of that. And like I said, I'm gonna look for that before I post this. So just know that I've secured my bottle before you see this episode.
All right. So you're gonna emergency trip to Boston?
I think I can order on Burlington. I think that's possible.
They said they don't ship. So. You can order and pick up in person.
Well, I had people in Boston.
Yeah, do that.
I think.
Do that.
Yeah.
Do that.
I'll figure that out.
I need a sample from somebody. So
I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna send samples to both of you. It's gonna be a week before you get them. So
Right on. All right, guys. Until the June episode, or
Shit.
the second June episode.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
We appreciate you guys
Thanks for
immensely for sticking around for 2 hours and listening to us BS. This was a little more personal episode.
Yeah.
A little less news, a little less American Single Malt, and a little more about the three guys. So
yeah.
But until next time, guys. Cheers.
Rip 'em and sip 'em.